Hello, and welcome to the official Hacks podcast from Max and Pineapple Street Studios. I'm Bobby Finger.
And I'm Lindsey Weber. We are your hosts for Hacks Season 4, unpacking every episode after they air.
Today we'll be talking about Episode 6 with our special guest, Ava Daniels herself, Hannah Einbinder.
Now, if you have not watched the latest episode of Hacks yet, this is your official spoiler warning. There will be spoilers, so go back and watch it and then come back when you're done.
You don't have to do all this. It's enough you pay for their lunches.
I don't pay for them. I subsidize the writers' lunches because the studio caps orders at $9, which in your world is the equivalent of one Pellegrino.
When are you going to learn you can't be their friend?
Why? Because I'm their boss?
No, because you're annoying.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of the episode. It's called Mrs. Table and was written by Carolyn Lipka and directed by Paul W. Downs.
In this episode, Ava's ex Ruby comes on the show and humiliates her with Deborah's help.
Ruby and I dated. I almost married her, in my opinion.
You're going to have to sign a conflict of interest form.
The stress of the job has suddenly become insurmountable and way too much for her, so she abruptly quits, drives her car through a gate, and escapes the lot.
Yeah, I'm not suicidal. I just want to die.
Later, Deborah and Ava reunite at the beach and finally bury the hatchet for good. Or at least for now.
I don't know if I can do the job. I don't even know your voice anymore.
You are my voice.
Before we move on, I want to ask an important question about this episode. At this stage of the season, is Deborah selling out?
I mean, Deborah sold out long ago. I guess it's like, if you ask, like, how are you defining selling out for Deborah? Like, the woman's been selling on QVC for a decade now. So that's not it, right? Like, if you're counting selling out as kind of a capitalism thing, we're beyond that. The woman lives in a mansion in Vegas. It's irrelevant. But is she selling out the voice that she developed with Ava that got her this recognition back into kind of the comedy world and has gotten her this late night show? Kind of, yes, she is. She is kind of succumbing to the ratings conversation, the demographic conversation, the Winnie of it all, kind of all these pressures that are like, you need to reach this type of person, which is different than you, and you're not reaching them. So you need to change your voice. And I think this comes to a head at the end of this episode, because this is honestly, we've been talking about this for a few episodes now, like this battle between like, what is Deborah's voice right now? What is the intended voice for this show?
She says at the end of this episode to Ava, you are my voice.
Right.
You know?
Well, this is like the Rosie O'Donnell, it all kind of comes to a head where she realizes like, that is what we should be doing. We should be doing what we do best, what got us here, and stop pandering to the powers that be.
She says selling out did not work for me, and it did not work for my relationship with one of my closest friends, even though I may not even want to call her that, Selling out didn't work. We have to come together and find a way to fix this.
What else happens on this episode? There are way more coyote and wolf motifs than we know what to do with. They continue to be thread through this show.
I finally found a supplier that will provide the right amount of bear urine that we need to keep away the coyotes. It's a proprietary blend of black and grizzly.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I think they mean different things for different people. I don't think it always means the same thing, but there is kind of this like threat over everyone's shoulder that kind of comes out as either a coyote or a wolf. Coyote who almost eats Deborah's dog, beloved Corgi, and Ava's ex who plays Wolf Girl, which is, I feel like it's very on purpose.
Quite intentional.
And like they're both kind of have these fears of this coyote wolf figure. And for Ava, it's this ex that she still clearly has feelings for.
And something else that I've watched this episode twice now, and something that kind of struck me on the second watch is in the scene late in the episode after being warned by Josefina that she needs to lock the doggy door while Josefina is, making sure that DJ's birth is going well. She's like, don't forget to lock the doggy door. You have to be careful of the coyotes. And of course, Deborah forgets, and the corgi's life is like momentarily in danger. Thank God it doesn't die.
They're not killing a dog on this show.
But another thing that I noticed is that it's also Deborah sort of not understanding these threats that are always around the corner. It's not just the coyotes. It's Winnie. It's Bob. It's Ava. It's every single factor in her life is a potential threat. And that fearlessness sort of prevents her from noticing that disaster could always be right around the corner.
Yeah, and this is this is the episode where they bury the hatchet at the end. So this is kind of the
Mm-hmm.
end of tit for tat, aggressive violence they have towards each other. And it kind of comes to a head with Ava's ex on the show and kind of Deborah using that story to like against her, like telling Ava's story on national TV, like of
Right.
her, the most embarrassing moment of her life, potentially, maybe.
Yeah.
She thought she'd beat me to the punch, and she proposed to me first with Wolf Girl's ring.
Oh, how embarrassing. Oh, God. No.
Oh, yeah. She got down on one knee. It was very awkward.
Oh, and with a bezel marquee cut, too. No wonder she's an ex.
And the way that Deborah frames it is the jokes that you write professionally are not good enough for me right now. So I have to mine your personal life, the stuff that you do not want to put on television, and make a joke out of that. Like, it's pretty dastardly and cuts pretty deep.
Yes, but it is kind of like the finale of their meanness because we know at the end it's like the beach brings them back together, right? And like the Rosie O'Donnell wisdom that Deborah receives is kind of like put into play.
Yeah. And Rosie was never the queen of late night, but she was certainly the queen of
She was the
daytime
queen of
television.
daytime.
She was the absolute queen of daytime television for
She's
years.
as close as you get to like that major success in talk show. Like it was not an ensemble. It's not The View. She was doing it herself. She developed a persona. She like did it for so many years. Like, I mean, that's when we were kids. Like that was the show. Like she was the culture. What she was so good at is like relating to other people so effortlessly on her talk show live. Like, and then turns out she's like an incredible dramatic actress. So it's like,
Exactly.
she's done everything.
And those two specific elements of herself, the like talk show comedy queen and icon / great dramatic actor, collide in that scene.
Yes,
Because
totally.
in that moment, you're kind of like, I would half believe you if you told me this wasn't even scripted. You know, like it feels like such an authentic Rosie O'Donnell moment.
Some days you want to pull your hair out. But other days, you're sitting there laughing your ass off with some of your favorite people in the whole world. You gotta focus on that. Because to tell you the truth, that's what I miss the most.
And with that, I think it's time to talk to Hannah Einbinder, who plays Ava on the show. We are joined by Hannah Einbinder. Thank you for joining us, not from the Americana Mall in Los Angeles, but a hotel in Midtown New York City.
That's right. Hi, I'm in a hotel, you guys, which means I did order some tea and sausage in a British way. But what's up? We're here and we are involved in the convo.
Okay, great.
We're talking about your big episode.
Ava's big day out.
Ava's big day out.
Like every episode's your big episode, but this was a bigger episode where things really shifted.
Yeah,
Definitively, I would say.
totally.
The relationship with Ava and Deborah, it's always in flux this season. It's like, how much do they hate each other? Do they hate each other? When will they love each other again? You're always like waiting for something to shift. This is kind of the apex of we can't keep doing this.
Certainly. I mean, I don't think Ava ever wanted to do it. You know, when she, in episode 2, when her and Deborah leave Winnie's house and they're embracing, and at first Ava thinks that Deborah's trying to just squash the beef, she has this look on her face of relief and of like, thank God, like I'm in my woman's arms. And it like, you know, it's only Deborah who keeps the feud going. Ava is reacting to Deborah's persistence that the feud continues. I don't think she wants any part of it. I don't think she ever wanted any part of it. And I think it has, you know, everything to do with like, this is how I justify Ava blackmailing Deborah in the first place. It's like, this is something that she is doing not only for herself, but also for Deborah. Like, this is for their shared success. So I don't think she ever wants any part of it. And I think it's getting to her in this episode for sure. It's reaching like kind of a climax emotionally for a lot of other reasons for sure. But I think the underlying one is this feud.
You know, it's quite literally your job to pick the best ones.
I know. I just don't know what the woman who likes wine o'clock thinks are the best ones.
What is it exactly you do here? Just print jokes out? You're a glorified Kinko's employee now?
Well, actually, there is no more Kinko's. I mean, there's FedEx Kinko's, which is pretty sad.
Oh my God,
yeah.
Stacy!
One of the major themes of this season and also this episode is that Deborah and Ava and then the network and Deborah and Ava as a unit are trying to figure out how to find this middle ground between niche audiences and mass appeal. Do you think Ava was prepared, even though she's very smart. She should know that this is what late night expects. Do you think she expected that sort of fight in the creative process here?
You know, I think it would have been wise for her to expect it. But I also think she comes from, you know, her previous job was at that place On the Contrary, which is modeled as sort of like a John Oliver, Trevor Noah type show. And so she knows that there is space for something perhaps like that because late night hosts do comment on politics. They do talk about the news of the day. And so I think she's optimistic that they can shift this medium, which is required in a time where the medium is becoming obsolete. So Ava knows how to do it. And Deborah's standing directly in her way because of their fight. It's just like that medium is very much like Dance Mom, you know, dancing with the fucking doing her little thing, which, by the way, I know this isn't my episode, but I just want to say behind the scenes, we had the choreographer, whose name was Corey, iconic, shout out to him, who choreographed Dance Mom's epic moves, teach us. Me and all the crew were doing the Dance Mom dance, and it was really fun. And that's a little tidbit for the audience.
Katy Perry's Lifetimes has never gotten more spins.
Frankly, like, this is huge for that song. I have to be so honest.
Huge for that song.
I have to just be 1 million.
I guess, you know, the other thing that happens that's kind of an emotional breakthrough for Ava is her ex-girlfriend showing up, essentially.
Yeah.
The timing is just incredible. Cher cancels and then your ex-girlfriend shows up, devastating in so many ways.
And thank God Ava lives in the Americana so she could get a last-minute makeover.
The beat was horrendous, y'all. The beat was...
I felt bad for that woman because I was kind of like, I was waiting for it to slay the look and then just did not.
Because her makeup was beautiful. She was... her makeup was so good. Stunning, flawless, beautiful, amazing, gorgeous. And mine was not in many ways.
I had this...
So...
There's a moment when she gets to the office where it's almost like Ava didn't look in the mirror while she was getting her makeover done. She hadn't actually seen herself until she kind of saw herself through the eyes of everyone else. And it was like so heartbreaking when she realizes like, I look ridiculous.
Right. Like she perhaps was like, okay, this is definitely a beat, but she didn't realize the severity
she
of
trusted
the beat and how
she
bad
trusted
it was.
the Americana. That's her home. She trusted all of the resources at her fingertips. I don't blame her at all.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Where's my hug?
How are you?
I'm chilling. How are you?
Good. You look great. I don't think I remember that beauty mark.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know me. Woman of mystery.
Oh my God. Oh, are you okay?
I'm good, yeah. It's just happens all the time. No
Sure,
worries.
okay.
That moment is so crazy with Ava and Ruby in the dressing room. Like, it's just that I will say that's like perhaps the hardest I've ever heard Lucia laugh on set. Like, we're shooting in that room, and then in the next room over is like Lucia, Paul, Jen, everybody. And I just like, she was screaming, like you could hear her in the scene screaming, crying, dying, laughing. It's like actually drugs to me, like hearing her laugh when I'm clowning hard. And they just let me go. Like they just were letting me kind of like riff and be crazy. And that was really like one of the more fun scenes to shoot, I think, in the entire season for me.
You had your clown makeup on, so you were ready to go.
100. I was red nosed, 10 toes down.
I was like, this is one of those things like Wicked, where it's like, it took Hannah Einbinder 6 hours to get into her like Americana beauty shop look.
She was ready to go.
So crazy. I don't know why I feel this is perhaps the space for this little behind the scenes, is that sometimes we would do 3 scenes in a day from 3 different episodes, and I would have to go in that beat, out of that beat, in that beat, out of that beat, and back in the beat. And you're thinking, couldn't we have done it differently? And so am I.
You're like, keep me in the beat. I'm going out after. Give me the beauty mark. I'm taking it to the club.
Yeah, I'm going to Akbar after this. If you guys could do the beauty mark a little heavier.
Truly. And then immediately after she has to deal with Ruby and the story and just everything, she gets dumped by her throuple, which is tragic because she really thought she was in control there. And then she wasn't again.
Poor Ava.
Maybe we should just pump the brakes, hit pause on this.
Okay, like all 3 of us?
No, we opened the circle to you, and now we are asking you to leave the circle.
You guys want to be monogamous now?
No, we're dumping you, and you're making it really hard.
It's like a double tragedy because in the span of a couple hours, she goes from like reliving a breakup from someone she was emotionally connected to and did want to marry to being broken up with by the people that she just thought she was having good sex with. You know, she can't even get that right.
Brutal.
Poor Ava.
Poor Ava.
I mean, how do you think she felt about them? Do you think it was purely like a physical thing, or do you think there was kind of a shred of her that wanted something a little bigger with this couple?
I do think it was purely physical. I think Ava is emotionally unavailable. I think she's shut off. I think she's completely focused on work and she doesn't have the space for that. And I don't think that she, like, from what we see, like, I don't really think she's like taken an interest in them beyond sex. And even at that point, she's like leaving sex to go to work with them. Like, you know.
And they met in a sex shop. It stands to reason.
Right. Why would she expect that from them?
Right.
Yeah. And then immediately after that is her branzino explosion. The explosion of the branzino, the Mrs. Table of it all.
Yeah, of course.
We're doing a lot of stuff in this episode within the writer's room, which I think can be maybe a niche place for a lot of people. Like there's not a lot of TV writers generally, so a lot of people haven't had that experience. But I think what is universal is the idea of being a boss and not really knowing how and finding yourself in the position where you want to be cool, you want to be liked, but you are the boss.
Oh, I get it. You guys have a group text without me?
No, it's not.
No. Guys, just tell her directness is kindness.
Okay. Yes. But it's just to like talk about assignments so we don't bore you with questions or memes or like what movie we're gonna see.
How do you think going into that, the idea of Ava trying to be this boss character, but not actually knowing that you can't really be BFF with your employees?
Yeah, see, I go in like I'm with Ava so hard on this journey of like, yeah, well, I don't believe in that. You know, like I've never been a boss. I should never be a boss. I don't think that's not my zone. I have only been like the personality hire at the coffee shop type thing. Like I'm like the worst employee who like keeps the ship together because we have to smile because all of the customers are mean before they've had their coffee. So like I super would not excel at like I'm super with her. And having had bosses like before she worked with Deborah, I'm sure like she is trying to right the wrongs of her previous bosses, right? Like I think she's coming at it from a place of also being like probably the same age, if not younger, than a lot of the people in the writer's room. Like that is a factor for her too, where she's just like, I'm cool, guys, I'm with you. So like I see where she's coming from completely. Like personally, as myself, would probably approach that the exact same way. Hopefully without the like mental breakdown. But
it's getting to her, I think.
Yeah.
And the dynamic, even if you don't understand the dynamics of a writer's room, the fact that she was excluded from a text is this universal like tragedy that I think everyone can relate to, the feeling that it is the new, you know, the modern form of FOMO, where there is not just a group chat, but a breakout group chat, which you are not invited to.
Completely. The truth is, like, that did actually happen in real life with the writer's room cast, where they had a group chat. They were like, oh, we just figured, like, you wouldn't want your number, like, in it, or, like, we didn't want to bother you. And I was like, yeah, totally. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's cool. Yeah. 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 I don't want to be in it. So no problem there. But they did add me.
You got in.
There's still another
you
one.
got in.
There's still another one you're not in.
There's still another one.
There's always
a group chat you're not in. I think everyone in modern life has to kind of come to that understanding.
God, that's so bleak and true.
God, I don't want that to be true.
I love the Branzino scene because the blow up is so special to me.
I have been subsidizing lobster rolls for Mrs. Table. A not real person is getting $48 Branzino?
72.
This is so disrespectful. I am working so hard. I get here every morning at 5:30 on the dot. One time I walked in on the janitor jerking off because he didn't think anyone else was here, and I didn't report it because he probably doesn't get paid a living wage. And by the way, Branzino doesn't travel well. You should never order it to go.
It's very Ava to talk about how the janitor wasn't making a living wage. So she
Period.
actually like empathizes with
Yeah.
him.
Period.
But it's also so Deborah to be like, Branzino doesn't travel well. Were you thinking of,
Yes!
of Branzina as like a Deborah observation? She doesn't even realize that like she's kind of becoming Deborah in this moment.
Oh my God.
She's
Wait,
being
that's
elitist
so
about
genius.
Branzino.
That's true. She can't help but play both sides constantly.
That's so genius. Oh my God, that's a great observation. It's like that actually hadn't occurred to me, but it's so true. It's like she's fusing. Like there is a synergy happening. Like she's becoming the Avora final boss. Like she is Avora, of course, the code name that lesbians use for our hopeful couple name. That
Wait,
is
really?
online, yes. There is a growing movement to see us end up together, and Avora is the name that they use. So I will invoke it here. She's becoming the Avora final boss.
She's becoming Avora.
I mean,
it's so true.
Yeah, it's true.
So as a performer, is it fun to throw fish? Like,
Great question. Great
how many
question.
times did you throw the Branzino?
Wait, was it real Branzino?
Yes. We had a couple Branzino. I mean, you know, it was very technical because the camera was outside the window. And so I was trying to aim for a specific spot because I wanted it to feel like it was hitting the camera, right? Like you do want to see that. So it was like actually helping me with my frustration because I really was like, look, a ball, sure.
It's just like a floppy fish.
I'm an athlete, you know what I mean? Like that's my background. Like I'm more of a jock, really. That's the truth. And so I pride myself on being, kind of like gifted in that way. But a fish, just the physics, it's harder. It's harder to wield a fish with accuracy. So that was tough for me, if I'm honest. I wanted it to hit a certain point on the wall, and I was struggling, of course, because, you're in the performance and then you're like, oh, fuck, I got to do sports now,
You got to make sure this Branzino splats so beautifully.
Yeah, it's super
on the
important.
window.
I really wanted them to be able to use that shot. So, yeah, that we had a couple fish. That's the truth that we went through.
Incredible question, Bobby. I'm so glad you asked.
Lindsay, I know you're dying to talk about
My favorite cameo.
one particular Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, I love her.
So, you do ayahuasca?
What do you mean?
I mean, how did all this happen?
That was just, hard work, timing, and, a lot of luck.
No, you got better. You don't just get better. Comedy is like sports. Nobody starts dunking at 60 years old.
I guess I just found my voice. We all evolve. I mean, you've evolved.
Yeah. It only took me 5 kids, 2 nervous breakdowns, and a lot of Ozempic. But yes, I've evolved, and I'm glad I can be here for your fake award. Now let's make it quick.
First of all, I think Rosie O'Donnell is one of our most gifted actors, even when she's playing herself.
Yes.
Right.
She's also wearing a jacket that is unlike any jacket anyone has ever seen on television.
100.
Incredible.
Okay, period.
Slaying. And then the other thing I loved about that scene is I felt like it was the turning point of maybe the entire show and also the season, just because in that one conversation, Rosie O'Donnell is like, oh, you became a better comic.
Why is that?
And Deborah's like, what? And she's like, you're better. Why is that? You just don't get better like that. And Deborah realizes that it's Ava. And that was the entire shift. And it's almost like Rosie O'Donnell had to tell her that. So she got it.
Rosie O'Donnell has to tell a lot of people a lot of things for them to wake the fuck up.
That's so
And
real.
let me just say that.
That's so real.
It has been said, and that's tea.
That is a queer elder.
I love that.
Okay? Listen to her. I love her. All her TikToks sound like personal voicemails. Hey, how are you? So anyway, I'm just here and we're here. So hoping everybody's okay. And all right, I'll talk to you later. Like that is her online presence. It's a voicemail. I love her.
But the scene is just so, it's so short, but it's so effective. And it's kind of like everything changes after this for them, I think, especially for Deborah. She has the coyote moment. She goes after her. She was not doing that before Rosie O'Donnell.
No, that's right. And just for anyone making any show, feel free, like that is an evergreen sort of device. If you need something to happen in your show, just stick Rosie in there and she'll tell you what time it is.
Time to change it up.
Yeah.
That's true.
100.
That's true.
So after the Branzino incident, Ava drives in her little car, which honestly, the car The styling of the car, the dirty trunk. I love that reveal that Ava's trunk is like absolutely disgusting. Do you think she went straight to the beach, or do you think she ran a couple errands? Like, did she get some tacos? Like, did she stop for anything sort of like utilitarian on the way to the beach, or had she been there all day?
She went to Jack in the Box, no doubt.
Jack in the Box. Yeah.
There's just no reality in which she didn't do that. She went to Jack in the Box for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she pulled up. Like, I think she was just like, I gotta get food and I gotta get out.
Do you think she meant to quit? Do you think she ever meant it?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, like I think she's really beside herself. I think she's like at her wit's end and she quits, and then, she's not like, oh, well, I gotta get my job back. I shouldn't have done that. Like when Deborah confronts her at the beach, she's like, yeah, I'm out. I quit.
Right.
It's over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that I do think she meant that. I think she was really, really done. I think Deborah was creating a blockade for her creatively, and I think she couldn't work with her team. And I think she's like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a clear mission and no one's letting me do it, so I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Deborah is not even calling her bluff at this point. She's like, you can't quit. Like she realizes that I need you. You can't quit.
The show needs
but like
you.
you also can't quit for yourself. Like I'm thinking about you now, and I'm telling you as advice, like you can't quit.
Completely.
You're up and down in this career. Right now you're up. But if you walk away, I'm telling you, one day you'll regret it.
I won't. I suck shit at this fucking job. You were right. I never should have taken it. I wasn't the right person for it.
The only reason you were failing is because I set you up to fail. I'm sorry. Give me another chance. Please. Even though I probably don't deserve one.
You don't.
I promise I'll make it up to you.
Don't say that. Please don't say that.
Yeah, that moment is really like, we don't really see Deborah being that vulnerable and loving and honest and like devoting. Like she doesn't plead with anyone kind of ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a new moment of vulnerability, I think, for her. And I think that's what helps Ava to go from I'm walking away to, okay, she did jump in the ocean. Like that's how you, by the end of one conversation, go from I'm out to I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It is the rarity of Deborah's pleading with her.
Right.
But there is sort of that moment still where Ava's like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And you're like, does the audience believe, you're kind of like, do the viewers believe her? Does Ava believe her? Do we believe in their relationship? But I guess the one thing that we do believe at the end is that the show has to be better. And the only way for the show to be better is for them to be together or on the same page about everything.
Yeah, and to do it the way they want, because it's like, it's kind of a fool's errand anyway, That's what's exciting. That's what Ava's been trying to do the whole time. It's like they just are, they're kind of they've both reached their personal bottoms, I think. Like they're both bottoming out. And is something about personal bottoms tickling you?
Yes.
Well, I was just like thinking about tops and bottoms. I'm like, they're both bottoms now.
Totally, which like, we gotta get some dynamics.
It doesn't
in
work
there.
when they're both tops. It doesn't work
No.
when they're both bottoms. Like they gotta find some sort of
There
like
has to be a
we're
dynamic.
both verse now. Like
Yes. Come on, girls. Let's get versed and let's get into the future.
it's verse city.
Okay?
Yeah. I have one more question.
Yeah.
At this point in Ava and Deborah's relationship, both the two of them and the viewers are conditioned to always expect the other shoe to drop. Anytime they're happy, they're going to get fucked up again. Anytime they're fucked up, they're going to get happy again. Like, what do you think? This just feels like such a major moment for the two of them, like true, like understanding and acknowledgement. Where do you think Ava's head is at the moment? Is she always now conditioned to expect the other shoe to drop ultimately in this relationship?
Yeah, I think so. I think she's kind of just like, what's my other option? Like, I guess I'll believe you and this is it. And if we do it, we do it. And if not, she's so like at this point, she's so at the end of her rope. She's just like, well, look, I see what is before me. I see that you just jumped into the ocean and that you're pleading with me. And I have fought you back and said, no, you always say this. She's just kind of in a place of like, I have like only one option, which is like to try. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I was walking away anyway. Like, I think she's cautiously optimistic because she knows who she's dealing with. I mean, this is a woman who slapped her across the face, who fired her, who went behind her back. Yeah, I think that's always going to be in Ava's mind. But like, look, they're in a toxic relationship for sure. Let's be so H right now. And frankly, the audience is our third. You guys are in it too. Hate to break it to you. If you're still fucking here, you're in it. So, we're like in that dynamic.
I mean, everyone in the audience is the bottom, actually.
That's right.
Always, perpetually. There's nothing you can do.
That's right. You're going to do what it is that the girls say, and you're going to be happy with it. The girls being Paul, Jen, and Lucia through the pen, of course.
There's nothing else to say.
Period.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Hannah. This was great.
Yes.
Thank you,
Hannah.
both so much.
And that's it. This has been the official Hacks podcast. I'm Bobby Finger.
And I'm Lindsey Weber. We'll be back next week to talk about episode 7, The Christening.
This podcast is a production of Max and Odyssey's Pineapple Street Studios. Our executive producers are Gabrielle Lewis, Barry Finkel, and Jayanne Barry.
Our producers are Melissa Akiko Slaughter and Ben Goldberg. Our associate producer is Natalie Peart. Darby Maloney is our editor.
This episode was mixed by Hannes Brown. Pineapple's head of sound engineering is Raj Makija. And Pineapple's senior audio engineers are Marina Pais and Pedro Elvira. This episode was engineered by Javier Cruces.
Special thanks to Kenya Reyes, Allison Cohen-Sorokoch, Aaron Kelly, and Becky Rowe. Production music is courtesy of Max. You can watch new and old episodes of Hacks on Max. Big special thanks to Hannah for joining us today on the show.
Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Okay, and now we are going to wish Dakota Fanning a happy birthday. Ready? And go.
Happy birthday, Dakota.
Fanning.
Fanning.
Happy birthday, Dakota Fanning. Please.
Happy birthday, Dakota Fanning.
She is going to love that.